show you how great I am.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I am the king of the world.
G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy. Support good content at all times. All social media is in the description box, and please hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I drop that heat. Now, the hot rumor for the day is Terrance Crawford, Luis Collazo. Deal is damn near done. Could possibly be going down March 23rd, 2019 at Madison Square Garden. Boxing Scene was the first ones to put it up. Article was written by Keith Idec, so big shout out to the website and to Keith Idec. Definitely go on to boxingscene.com if you want to read the article. Now, Luis Collazo's been thrown around in terms of the rumors for the past month or two. Not that long ago, he was rumored to be basically the opponent for Errol Spence Jr. And I went on and dropped the video, and I was just like, yo, like, I'm not impressed. Like, I'm not impressed at all. So I know y'all probably thinking like, okay, well, if you wasn't impressed with Errol Spence fighting Luis Collazo, then you can't be impressed with Terrance Crawford fighting Luis Collazo. And you're right. I'm not. But my opinion on it is a little different than it was when the rumor was Luis Collazo, Errol Spence. And I'm going to tell you why. Errol Spence and Luis Collazo are both connected to Al Haymon. So what I mean by that is the selections are a lot larger when both guys are affiliated with Al Haymon. So that was the primary reason why I said I wasn't impressed with Luis Collazo as an opponent for Errol Spence, because Errol Spence has so many other options at 147 within his own camp, which is the Al Haymon camp. Now, Luis Collazo, Terrance Crawford is something different. Now, it's not something different because I think Luis Collazo is going to be high-level competition for Terrance Crawford. No. Like, this is a glorified showcase fight for Terrance Crawford. If it goes down like the article says, it's going down in Madison Square Garden. It's going down in March 2019 on ESPN. So casual boxing fans, hardcore boxing fans, and just the boxing world period is going to be tuned into that particular fight. But that fight is made for Terrance Crawford to look great and to build his star power. And that's just what it is. But this is the difference why a Collazo fight with Terrance Crawford doesn't irritate me as much as a Luis Collazo fight with Errol Spence Jr. First of all, it's top ranking Al Haymon possibly making a deal. Now, I'm not reading too much into this at all. I'm not reading too much into this at all. I'm going to tell you why. Because this is not the first time that Top Rank and Al Haymon has actually ironed out a deal specifically for Terrance Crawford. I mean, Terrance Crawford did fight John Molina Jr. And that was back in 2016. And John Molina Jr. is an Al Haymon fighter. And Al Haymon set up the deal, sent John Molina Jr. over to Terrance Crawford, and sent them over to his hometown. Now, it was a title shot for John Molina Jr., so I felt like it was a good opportunity for him. But, you know, that was one of them, you know, set him up to fail type fights. And Terrance Crawford went in there and took care of business. So this is not the first time this has happened between Al Haymon and Bob Arum in Top Rank. So I don't want people to think like, oh, shit, Al Haymon and Bob Arum is working together. Yo, the big fights is going to happen. This, that, and the third. Listen, Top Rank and Al Haymon has made one big deal for one big fight since their existence. and that's Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They have not made any other significant fights between the two camps. So until other major fights have happened, I'm not going to be really optimistic that they are going to happen between an Al Haymon fighter and a top-ranked fighter. But it gives Terrance Crawford another opportunity to look good in front of the casual fan. And that's how you build a star. So I see what Bob Arum and Top Rank is doing. Now, the hardcore boxing fans, we want Terrance Crawford, Errol Spence right now. We want it right now. But if we can't get the fight that we want right now on the spot, then the thing that I don't want to see is a fighter actually sitting out. You know what I'm saying? Not being active. That's the one thing that I can't stand. A fighter waiting on an opportunity and then they're just like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to sit out. I'm not going to fight. I'm just going to sit on my spot until the fighter that I want to fight becomes available. No, it's good for Terrance Crawford to stay busy. Luis Collazo is not a bad opponent at all. He's just not on Terrance Crawford's level. I mean, he last fought August 2018, and that was against Brian Peralta. You know, and that was an action fight. You know, he ended up winning the fight, but that was an action fight. Now, before that, he fought about maybe a year before that, and he beat Sammy Vasquez. And, of course, nobody's talking about Sammy Vasquez anymore, but at the time, Sammy Vasquez was a hot prospect, and he was undefeated. Luis Collazo went in there and knocked him out. And it was really a shoulder injury that really sidelined Luis Collazo. But even if it wasn't a shoulder injury, it would have been interesting to see if Al Haymon would have allowed Luis Collazo to capitalize off of the momentum of that victory against the top prospect at that particular time. And listen, Luis Collazo ain't garbage. He's not garbage at all. Like, he fought Keith Thurman. You know, he hit him with the body shot, heard around the world. Don't get me wrong. I think he got too much credit for that body shot because he got his ass whipped in that fight. He fought Amir Khan. He got his ass whipped in that fight. He pulled off an upset against Victor Ortiz. I mean, he lost to Freddie Hernandez. He lost to Andre Berto. Even though I thought he won that fight against Andre Berto. If you want to go further than that, he fought Shane Mosley. A lot of the big fights that Luis Collazo has had, he's lost. But he's pulled off a few upsets. Like, you know, the Victor Ortiz fight, that was an upset. Nobody was expecting him to win that fight, really. And, you know, you had the Sammy Vasquez fight. And then he fought Andre Berto tough. People thought he won that fight. He fought Ricky Hatton back in the day, and people thought he won that fight. So if you're not coming in on your A game, man, Luis Collazo can definitely do some things. But I don't see a scenario where Terrance Crawford's not coming in on his A game because he knows what's at stake. And he knows there's bigger fights ahead, so he got to get Luis Collazo up out of there if this fight happens. So, you know, I'm going to keep my ear to the street, see what's going on, see if this fight actually happens. If it happens, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Anytime we get a chance to see Terrance Crawford in the ring, that's going to be a real good thing at the end of the day. And y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Please share this video. Support your boy. Support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.